Hey there, we're starting this video with a slightly different angle to usual. I thought it would be kind of funny to try to test it out. Don't worry, we will be back to the usual terribly low quality face cam in a bit when I am doing the deck profile, but I am attending the Nordic extravaganza this weekend. I know I'm not exactly the most Nordic person out there, but hey, I missed the last one, okay? And I want to try this one. It's a much smaller event than I thought it would be. It's not going to be all day, so it's might as well. But here's the thing. I was originally thinking if I do this event, I will be playing Earth Machines because it's the only thing I've done a proper deck profile of here on this channel. So as you might be able to imagine, it is currently my favorite deck, and I absolutely love the deck. So I may be playing. I still haven't fully decided, but I'm kind of thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if I took a common only deck? I already had a deck that was almost completely common only because I built it based off a common only deck, and so I just changed it, swapped the cards, and it's now common only. So without further ado, this is my common only Gouki deck profile. And now I need a piss. Alright, so we are back. I have arranged the deck and gone for a much needed piss. But this is going to be the deck. So I'm going to get the elephant out of the room, I guess. The elephant. I don't think that's what the phrase is, but whatever. And say, yes, not all of these cards are common. Like, for example, this Super X, as you can see, is a rare. However, every single card that I'm showing you here is available in common. That's elephant number 1. Elephant number 2, this is in fact very much based off of Farfa's common only Gouki profile, as you may have guessed. However, it's not the exact same card for card, mainly because I changed a few depending on what I play in my locals, and also because some new cards have come out that were in common, as well as just me making general edits to the deck after having tested it for a bit and seeing what improvements I think could have been, I thought could be made. So without further ado, let's get on with this deck profile. So kicking things off, we of course have triple Gouki Super X. Super X is your best Gouki. The reason for this is because it gets 2 Goukis on the field. On normal summon, it special summons another Gouki from hand. 2 Goukis is your full combo because essentially all you're doing is cycling through as many Goukis as possible, since every Gouki, when they're sent from field to graveyard, searches you another Gouki card, not monster card. So you can basically just cycle through and make big Link boys. That's the whole point of the deck. As a result, another really good card is Headbat. This is your only Gouki extender monster. So Headbat, basically you target a Gouki you control, send another Gouki from your hand to the graveyard, special summon Headbat, and then boost the card you targeted by 800 attack. If you do have 3 Goukis in hand, one of them being not Headbat and one of them being Headbat, then you can normal summon the not Headbat, special summon the Headbat, and basically do full combo anyway. So that is still really good. 3 Twist Cobra, not to mention I will show you 2 different versions of the combo, and both require Headbat. Twist Cobra though is just in here because it's an easy normal summon. You can just normal summon it. We do play double summon, so anything that can easily be normal summoned is useful. And if you've already set our board up, then you'll see why this is better than the next card, which is Rescorpio. Twist Cobra does have an effect where as a quick effect, you can tribute a Gouki monster, then target another Gouki monster you control, and it gains attack equal to the original attack of the tributed monster until the end of this turn. So that might come up, but I don't know. I've never actually done it because I don't tend to keep my Goukis on the field during the battle phase, really. I've linked them off into other stuff like the big Goukis. So Rescorpio, we're only playing 2 because it's still a really good normal summon, but it's not as good. It's not as easy to summon, but in your opening hand, you're perfectly fine to see it, really, but like later on in the game, you don't always want to see it, really, and you don't need more. You don't really need more. It's a good card at 2. It's a good normal summon, but you've got plenty of other normal summons in Twist Cobra and Super X. The reason you don't want to see, I should actually explain. You can normal it without tributing. It is level 5, but only if you control no monsters or everything's a Gouki. And if you've pulled off your full combo, then not everything will be a Gouki. So sadly, yeah. So the next are basically just a bunch of one-offs that we're only playing as a result of having different Gouki names to cycle through, but they do have some effects that can become relevant. So Bear Hug when he's normal summoned, which you wouldn't do because you wouldn't need a tribute for him, or if he's special summoned by the effect of a Gouki card, that can be with the spell or with Super X's effect. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and its attack becomes half its original attack until the end of this turn, which is pretty good, because it's not halving the attack, it's making its attack half the original attack. So if it's one of those monsters where it starts with a low attack but boosts itself up by its effect, or starts with no attack and boosts itself up by its effect, it instantly becomes very easy to just beat over as long as you can target it. So that's that can be useful. Iron Claw in the context of this deck specifically isn't that useful, but it is quite nice. It's essentially a hand trap that you can use during battle involving a Gouki, where you boost your Gouki by 500 and make it unaffected by anything, by your opponent's card effects rather, until the end of this turn, which can be quite nice. If you have one of these Goukis on the field and one of these in hand, you can do that, but it's a bit situational, I feel like, and you'll see what I mean by it's not very good in the context of this deck specifically. Octo Stretch is also like a battle-related hand trap. Essentially, if you were to take either effect or battle damage, you can just quick effect discard to half the damage you're taking that one time. It's kind of meh, but you know, it's cool. Guts is interesting because you can technically sit on this. It can't be destroyed while in defense, so you can just set this and pass if you can't do full combo, which it's a common only deck. It's going to be inconsistent. But it does also have an effect where during your main phase you can make all Gouki monsters you control gain 200 attack. Again, not super relevant. But the final Gouki monster, I originally wrote this off and had this cut out of the deck because I thought it was terrible, but it's actually really good. Now, the reason I thought it was terrible, Ring Trainer, is because he actually doesn't get the search effect when sent from field to graveyard. He's one of the few, I believe there was like 3 releases of like Gouki monsters. That was the original in, I don't even know what set. I mean, this is from the MP19. This is from COTD. I wasn't really around when Goukis were like meta, so I don't actually know what COTD stands for, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys. But yeah, this one is from Cybernetic Horizon, where like some things like Moonsault and the other ones were released, and Moonsault tag partner and this guy, I think they were, and the other 2 tag partner and Moonsault, they're fucking terrible. I'm sorry. They suck. They're shit. They don't do anything. But this one actually does something. So even though it doesn't get you the search, it's worth searching at the end of the combo if you have an extra search, because it's really good. What it does is if you control no monsters, so your board's been outed, which again, common only deck, very likely, you can reveal this card in your hand, target a Gouki Link monster in your graveyard, special summon this, and then special summon that Link monster. So that can easily link you up into another one of your boss monster, which you play 3 copies of, or you can revive a boss monster, but that's not as good. In fact, I'll just show you why. Our boss monster is Gouki the Powerload Ogre. It's unaffected, and we tried to make 2 of this with our normal combo. It's unaffected by everything, but only if it was Link summoned. And it also gained attack equal to the Link ratings of all of the Link monsters you control times 200. That's not only if it's Link summoned. So you can just get this out to go for some extra damage if you are able to then also use the rest of the cards in your hand to link up into yet another one. Or you can use this other effect where you can tribute a Gouki monster, then target cards on the field up to its Link rating and destroy them. So you can just revive this to blow itself up, or you can even just revive a Link 3 and then link the 2 of those into a power load from your extra deck. So it's genuinely just a very versatile, very good card, because, you know, you can use it for a lot of different things. And the fact that it just says Gouki Link monster means you can, you know, you can revive a Link 2, you can revive whatever you want, depending on what you want to be linking into. So it's genuinely very useful. And finally, for actual monsters we summon, Codebreaker 0 Day. This is the only like actual Garnet in your deck. If you do open it, it's not the end of the world as long as you can combo off, but obviously you'd rather not open this because you can just summon it from the deck with the Codebreaker cards. However, it can also be summoned from hand or graveyard, so it's not the worst. But that is all your Goukis and your Codebreaker guy. So onto the hand traps. So the first one is very obvious. We are playing triple Ash Blossom. I was playing my single Ultra copy, like I usually do, but I dug up my oh, my mouse is being annoying. I dug up my 3rd common, just so I can, you know, make as much of this deck actually common as possible. And there's no need to explain why I play Ash, really. Okay, apologies. My camera just cut out, but I'll fix it now. So, Lancia, I don't feel like it needs much explanation. Again, this is a card that I only had one Ultra of, and I swapped it out for the common. As you might have been able to guess, I bought one copy of Dual Devastator back when it came out, and yeah. So next up, this is something I'm probably not going to keep in the main, but for the extravaganza, but I put it in here for locals. If I do, when I do next go to the online locals, because I come across so many Shadow players. I don't think I'm expecting to come across as many. Although I might, because I think a lot of the people from my locals are going to be joining this event. Like, Shadow players play into Meister all the time, that's all I'm saying. Like, if you open multiple copies of Meister against a Shadow deck, it's insane. It's honestly insane. And that's the sole reason why I've been running, 3 copies in the main. But I'm probably going to swap these out for the Droll and Lockbirds in the side, because I am expecting to come across more Dragon Link players. And, I mean, Nibiru would be great, but common only. DD Crow I'm running at 2, and this is like kind of I feel like, DD Crow can be pretty good, but I'm not sure against what deck specific. I'm not sure what's the best hits with this. It's probably just me being a bad player, but in general, I'm not sure if DD Crow's just like that good. But I swapped it out for. I was playing Veiler, because Veiler's just one of the first common hand traps that came into my mind, and I realized like almost every hand trap is available in common, almost all the ones that are being played today, which is insane. But I felt like Crow was probably better than Veiler in most situations. But I don't know. I mean, I think I'll keep Crow in there, and then we'll just see how it performs. I was playing a third in the side, this guy right here, but then I decided not to. Because I might as well just play more back row removal on the side. That's the way I see it. So that is all of the hand traps. Coming up to the spells, we are running, of course, 3 Gouki rematch, since it is a Gouki deck. Just target 2 Goukis in your grave with different levels, special summon them in defense position. Very nice. You use it during your combo to link climb, and you can use it as a recovery option. Very nice. As I mentioned earlier, we are playing 3 copies of Double Summon, just so that we can get 2 Goukis on the field easier. This card has bricked me many a time, though, so be careful with that. And then a few power one-offs. So we're running the Rota and the 1-for-1 just to, again, help get 2 Goukis on the field, because Rota can just search Super X, or if you already have Super X, you can just search another Gouki, except for Scorpio, but who cares. Funnily enough, though, if you do already have the full setup, I would just, to be honest, probably use this to search a copy of Ring Trainer, just so you can have an extra copy of Ring Trainer. And then 1-for-1 is just gets one of your level 1 Goukis except Ring Trainer onto the field, and you've got your full combo. So next up, we of course play triple copies of Pot of Avarice. This is the final card in the main deck. The reason I'm playing Pot of Avarice is I originally put in Desires, because I just like Desires, it's a good card. And I thought, hey, if there's anything this deck could use, it's consistency, and it makes sense, right? However, it didn't take me long to realize the main reason why you don't want to play Desires in this, and if you haven't figured it out, it's fucking this guy. He's a Garnet. You don't want to banish him. If you want to do your full combo and you want to keep having your grind game up, you need him. And there's no reason to run more than 1 copy of him, because at that point he just becomes a brick. You don't want more than 1 copy of him at all. So yeah, just running Desires in a deck that requires him is just not a good idea, in my opinion. It's just a bad idea. So then I thought, hey, maybe you could, I was running as a one-off at one point, because I was thinking maybe it could be like the kind of thing that I used to do back when I played Salads, which is you run Desires, but you don't do it at the start of your turn. You just do it at the end to draw into more hand traps. But that kind of doesn't work. The reason that worked in Salads is because Salads is extremely consistent inherently, whilst this deck is not. But the whole logic of once you've popped off, you can just draw into more shit, that is very, very useful. And that's why Pot of Avarice works, Pot of Avarice is great for that. Like, once you've popped off, you just activate Pot of Avarice, shuffle back 5, many of which as you want can be links, usually up to 3, and then just and just draw 2 cards into one of your many a hand trap. We're playing 11 hand traps here. I mean, you're bound to draw into like one of them, when you Pot of Avarice. It's Avarice is just a really, really good card, is what I'm saying in this deck. And interestingly, another thing to consider, which is really funny, is it is 5 monsters that you're targeting. So if you get Nibiru, you can actually resolve Pot of Avarice. If you get Nibiru and you have Pot of Avarice, you can just shuffle back everything, draw 2, hope to draw into some hand traps and try to survive. That's essentially the way I see it. So, yeah, Avarice is insane. You know, I'm glad it's no longer banned or limited. So, onto the extra deck. I believe this is completely identical to Farfa's list, but I'll show you anyway. So basically, for our main ladder, we play multiple copies. So we play 2 Heal Ogre, 2 Thunder Ogre, and 3 copies of Power Load Ogre. The reason you want to be playing 2 is for a grind game kind of thing, I guess, which is that once you've done your main combo, you can link climb into another one again. I found, though, I might replace the Thunder Ogre, because once you have done your first initial combo, chances are you won't be able to get the zones for Thunder Ogre unless your board gets out, in which case having the Ogre in there, having the Thunder Ogre there is actually very nice. So that's the main reason why I've still kept it. But, you know, it's debatable. You know, all these two do is just let you climb. This one just by being a link monster, therefore sending stuff to the graveyard. This card also by doing that, but also by giving both you and your opponent an extra normal summon to his own opponents to once per turn. So, you know, you take full advantage of that in your combo, and then immediately link that and the monster you normal summoned off into this guy. So there you go. And I've talked about this guy earlier. He's just really good. He can tribute to pop cards. He's unaffected and he gains attack. On your normal board, you end on 2 of these plus a link 2, so they have 4,000 attack to both of them, and then you have your 2,300 attack link 2. We do have some more Goukis. We have a Blade Ogre and a Giant Ogre. Giant Ogre is shit. It's just a worse version of Power Load Ogre. It's unaffected, but only by things with lower attack than itself, and it can negate effects. I think it's yeah, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card and or a monsters this card points to as a quick effect, you can make it lose exactly 500 attack, and if you do, negate the activation. And then once per turn, if its attack is different from its original, as a quick effect, you can boost it by 1,000 till the end of the turn. So you can have it, you know, quite big, because you negate something and it goes to 35, and anything under 35 it's unaffected by, but that's just not very good compared to Power Load. Power Load gets bigger in the first place. It's unaffected by everything, and you know, and not to mention, it's got better arrows because it's got the 3 downward arrows, meaning it gives you access to your Codebreaker plays, whilst Paolo doesn't. So Giant Ogre's just in here because we need, you know, it's the 15th spot, and it's what we can go into. But honestly, I was really hoping Equimax was available in common, but I don't believe it is. So sadly, we're gonna have to have this guy in here instead. Blade Ogre's quite nice. It's quite situational. But basically all it does is it can tribute, it gains 300 attack for each monster it points to, and it contributes something it points to for cost to give itself a second attack, and it can be on either field. So if you manage to summon it pointing to like in the EMZ pointing to one of your opponent's monsters, or if they have something with an arrow pointing that way and you summon it underneath it, you actually get to tribute their monster off for cost to get a second attack with it, which is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, that's one of the main ones. So carrying on for your combo, we of course have the Codebreaker engine, as you know, because we do play the 0 day and I talked about it a bunch. Just helps you make your second power load, and then having it twice means you constantly have access to keep recycling stuff and getting bigger link plays, and yeah, it's just very useful, especially with Avarice in the deck that lets you keep recycling stuff in the grave and keep linking up into stuff. It can actually give you a grind game in a common only deck that's Gouki's, so that's you know, genuinely good. I tend to prefer decks that can grind it out, so I'm really happy I managed to make this happen with a common only deck. But the final 2 cards are just some generic common links, which is Link Rebo, because we do play a lot of level 1s, as you saw, so you know, it can be, but I feel like if it's Guts, a lot of the time it's better just, you know, set the Guts. And then of course Borreload Dragon, because Borreload Dragon is just insane and it can end turns, and you know, it can end games rather. So that is the entire main and extra. Finally, the side. Quite self-explanatory. 3 Dark Ruler recently got reprinted in the Charmer Structure decks as common, so we now have access to this within the common only pool. And a deck like this can really benefit from something like this going second. If you know you're going to second, it's It's very good. On the flip side, if you know you're going first, a deck that plays a Towers monster can very much take advantage of a card like Torrential Tribute. You want to destroy every card on the field, well, you don't destroy your own stuff. I was even considering throwing some Needle Ceilings in the side as well, so if you definitely know you're going first, you can just, like, you know, chuck in a bunch of these big boy traps and then flip them on your opponent's turn, destroy all their board multiple times, but keep your board completely intact because your cards are unaffected. Next up is Triple Droll and Lockbird. It's just really good, not much to say. It's really good against a lot of decks, and as I said, I will most likely for the extravaganza be siding this out, or rather having this in the main deck and having Skullmeister in the side. However, if there was anything to swap out for the Needle Ceilings, it would probably be those Meisters won't be making it in here. They'll just be gone, and instead I'll be playing Needle Ceilings. And finally, we just play some back row hate, so we play some Twisters and we play some Cyclones. I think HFD is probably available in common, but I don't own a HFD, and I'm going to assume so. It's just an old card. A lot of old cards get reprinted a lot, but I don't own an HFD. However, I was considering running some copies of Hate Runade, but I don't know. I don't feel like it would be that useful, to be honest. You know, Cyclone's the big one, and you know it is available in common, but like a lot of things, it was cheaper. It's really cheap in Ultra, so I bought my Ultra playset at the time, and I'm not buying another playset right now just for this. I could, but can't be asked. Yeah, that's the entire deck. But now I'm going to show you the combo, the main combo line, so that you know how to do this. So the first and classic combo is just 2 Goukis on the field, excluding Headbat. So this could be anything from a, I think we'll go for the classic default Suprex Twist Cobra, but you can of course go for any 2 Goukis with double summon, you know, that kind of stuff. Normal summon Suprex, Suprex effect, special summon Twist Cobra. Then we can link both of these off. Yeah, we're going to go into a Heal Ogre. And this is of course going to trigger both of our Goukis, so you can do either as Chain Link 1 and 2. We're going to search a Headbat, and we're going to search any other Gouki. So here I'm just going to grab a Guts, because that's what Farfel grabbed in his video, Lamau, and I'm going to grab a Headbat. Then I'm going to activate the Headbat, targeting the Heal Ogre by discarding, or sending to the graveyard the Guts from hand, special summoning it, and Heal Ogre is now at 1800. Of course, Guts does not get the trigger here because it wasn't sent from field. However, when we link these 2 off into our Thunder Ogre, our Headbat will get the trigger. So Headbat here is going to search for any Gouki you can normal summon. So here is where I like to use my Scorpio, because it's you know, it's easy to use it here. You only control a Gouki and you get your extra normal summon, so you just normal that Scorpio right there to the zone it points to, and then you can link these 2 off into your very first Power Load Ogre. Just like that, your Scorpio gets its trigger, and your Scorpio can search for rematch. You're going to activate the rematch, and you're going to target 2 Goukis in the graveyard, including what you discarded off of the Headbat, so that's going to be Guts in this situation. You link these 2 off into our Codebreaker, Virus Swordsman rather, and Guts will get his trigger here. It's going to grab us a copy of Rematch for the next our next turn. However, if you already, say, for example, had a monster you could normal summon with Thunder Ogre, or a monster you could discard off of Headbat, meaning you got an extra search at some point through the combo, or even you already had a rematch, then I would suggest that by now at the end of the combo, if you've already got your rematch access, you also search a Ring Trainer, because having these two in hand is just the perfect recovery. It's insane what you can do. In fact, I'll put that to the side and I will show you, but of course, prioritize rematch. It's better than Ring Trainer, but Ring Trainer is still very, very good, and if you can get access to both, that's very, very useful. So we're going to make these 2. So yeah, we're going to summon the 0 day off of Virus Swordsman, of course. I should have said Virus Swordsman was chaining 1, Guts was chaining 2. Then we're going to summon this Berserker, and then Berserker effect triggers, and it's going to revive both of our Codebreaker monsters. And then we are going to link the Link 3 and the 0 day into our second Power Load Ogre, and just like that, what we've passed is 2 Towers monsters that are both 4000 attack, another 2300 beta that actually does have a relevant effect. It's during the end phase if it was in the graveyard because it was destroyed while in your opponent's possession, by an opponent's card and sent there this turn. You can special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. That is useful because then if your opponent did destroy this but didn't manage to get rid of this one, then you can special summon this back, and then it gets this trigger, and you get to revive your 0 day, and then the next turn you can make these two, and then the next turn you can just instantly make these two into a Berserker, and it's just it's very useful. Yeah, if you have access to double summon here, and say you had like a Suprex and another Gouki searched, which I would have suggested you do if you had access to double summon plus full combo, then you can just normal summon the Suprex, special the other Gouki, and then link this guy and those two into a third Power Load Ogre. The other Gouki that you special summon of the Suprex will get the search for the rematch. Okay, so I'm going to show you the second version of the combo now, which requires a bit more. I actually won't include Suprex because then if you had that opening, then this whole play would be pointless. Instead I'll have, let's go for an Octo Stretch. So here, let's say you open something like this. So 3 Goukis, one of which is Headbat, and at least one of which is, if you open triple Headbat, you're a bit fucked. If you normal summon one of your Goukis, target the other with your Headbat, discarding your third Gouki. So target it with your target it with Headbat, discarding third Gouki. Then here you can of course just make your Heal Ogre, and then you can get 2 searches like last time. So here I'm actually just going to search for a Suprex, and I'm going to search for a rematch. I'm going to activate this rematch, and I'm going to revive 2 things, including the Twist Cobra, which we discarded. I'm going to have that Headbat out of the way for now, and then we're going to link these 2 off into a Thunder Ogre. And then that of course gets us another search off of the Twist Cobra in this case, or whatever you discarded off of the Headbat. So you're just going to search for another Gouki. So here I guess since we are normal summoning the Suprex and we get to choose, I will search the Bear Hug since it's hard to summon in other situations. Normal summon the Suprex with the Thunder Ogre's extra normal summon, and then special summon this Bear Hug. Then we're going to link these off, make our first Power Load Ogre. And then of course we get a sweet search. So here we actually do technically get an extra search than with our original combo. You don't require to open more than what I just showed you. If you do manage to open what I just showed you, you will get the 2 extra cards in hand, because once you've linked these off into your Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, and you make his effect Chain Link 1, then Bear Hug's effect will be Chain Link 2, and you will get an extra search. So here you can of course search your Ring Trainer for your recovery plays, and then Swordsman resolves, and you get to summon your 0 day if I can find him. And then as you may have guessed, from this point it's just the exact same as before, where you link these 2 off into a Berserker, and then Berserker revives your 2 guys, and then you link these 2 into a Power Load Ogre. That's 2 different ways of making the same board. Now I'm going to show you some recovery options. So let's say your entire board was outed. All of this is in the graveyard, and this is what you managed to have in your hand. Well, if you do just have the rematch, then I suppose all you can really do is you revive 2 Goukis, and then you kind of do your normal combo, and just like that you can pass on a Power Load, and you get an extra rematch search for the next turn again. So that that works. However, that's all you can do, and of course you can't use that rematch again to go into more link plays, so that's all you can do. However, if you do have access to both of these, which you wouldn't want just this, if you need to prioritize anything, you prioritize this. I'm just going to put this in quickly whilst editing. Ring Trainer will not replace itself if it link climbs into a Power Load, so you don't want to prioritize searching that. You want to prioritize searching Rematch, which will in fact replace itself. I'll just show you like a simple one. So the simple thing you can do, for example, is you can special summon the Ring Trainer. You can use Ring Trainer's effect to revive a Thunder Ogre. You can link these 2 into a Power Load, and then you can just rematch here. Go into your second Codebreaker engine here. So you use rematch there, and then you go into your second copies of your Codebreaker engine into 1, and of course Swordsman revives your 0 day from your grave, and then these 2 can get linked off. And this is the cool part, when you link these 2 off and you make your Virus Berserker, I should have mentioned earlier as well, he does have an effect where he can pop cards equal to the number of link monsters on the field. So usually on your first turn you can pop 3 back row if they haven't used 3 back row for some reason yet. But then here you can actually do it like this. Here you have a very big boy. There's like almost 0 chance you won't be able to attack for game from this position. But if for some reason you can't, then you can still just open up some extra zones by using these two and going into a bore load, and then you can steal something and you still have a pretty big guy on the field. So yeah, that's an option. So that was one of your recovery options, which as you can see is pretty nice. But another thing you can go for is you can summon this ring trainer. You can revive a power load, and it can just tribute itself to pop 4 cards. Just like that, you've popped 4 cards. Then you can activate your rematch. You can revive 2 Goukis, not including a Suprex. We're going to link these 2 off into a Healoga, get 2 searches, search for Suprex plus anything else. So let's say a Rescorpio in this case. We haven't normal yet, so we can just normal summon Rescorpio, special summon, normal summon Suprex, special summon the Rescorpio. Here you can use these 2, make a Thunder Ogre, get a search, I don't know, Iron Claw, normal summon, link them off, Power Load Ogre, we can just use these 2. Go into our Virus Swordsman play, and then we're back in the same place we were beforehand. However, this way we instead, we did a lot more summons, and it took us a lot longer to get to our Power Load Ogre. However, we end on the same thing. We of course get the search of our Rescorpio to search for our rematch for next turn, and then we get to make the same play as before. So that's but of course with the addition of popping 4 cards. I'm afraid my camera cut out again, but fixed it now, so it's just my internet keeps fucking up. But point is, here's another play you can make. Special summon him, and you can use him to summon a Link 2. And then what you can do is you can activate your rematch and revive 2 cards, not including a Suprex. And then you can just link these 2 into our other Healoga, get a search, or 2 searches rather, for a Suprex plus something else. So let's go for Suprex and Gouki Guts. So here we just use these 2, make a Thunder Ogre. We don't get a search off of Ring Trainer, as previously explained. Thunder Ogre lets us normal and special with Suprex, and then we can link these guys off into a Giant Ogre, or alternatively you can just make a Bore Load there, and this gets you a search for a rematch. That's the most logical option. Where's my rematches gone? Oh, there it is. And then of course you get another search for a another Gouki, so you can just search for a Rescorpio here, I guess, normal summon that, and then you can just link these 2 into your boy Power Load Ogre, and you can actually have it co-linked with the Giant Ogre if you want, so that like it's technically protecting this from being targeted as well, but obviously it's unaffected, so it doesn't really matter. But you know, your opponent might try to play some shenanigans. But yeah, that's pretty much what this deck does. In fact, tell you what, let's do a nice intimate outro. Here we go. Here, see, it's nice, isn't it? Thanks for watching. I'm gonna edit this deck. I'm gonna make the changes I said I would make, and hopefully I'll do well with this at the extravaganza. See how it turns out. Cheers, guys.